The Utah Jazz have max cap space in the offseason, and I'm going to tell you why I would open up the coffers for Austin Reaves of the LA Lakers next on Locked on Jazz.
You are Locked on Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello. How are you? I am David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA insider, and this is Locked on Jazz. It's your daily podcast on Utah Jazz, giving you insight, expertise, geeky numbers, and hopefully making it way better to be a Jazz fan each and every day. Thank you for making Locked on Jazz your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked on the #1 sports podcast network out there. On today's show, it's a Thursday, so it's a points gained Thursday. We'll look at all those players with points gained. We'll look at Austin Reaves on points gained, and we're going to address the Jazz offseason a little bit, because as we move into the trade window, which started December 15th, what you plan to do in the offseason is you have to know now. So I'm going to try to walk this whole thing through for you of how they all impact each other. What the Jazz do between now that the trade season's kind of open with with contracts being able to be moved, and what the Jazz between now and February, it's early in February this year, trade deadline, and what they do in the offseason. And I'm going to present why, if I was the Jazz, I would sit on my hands now and offer Austin Reaves a max contract when it's time. Yep, that's right. Austin Reaves can potentially get a 4-year, $179 million deal from another team. Now, the problem is the Lakers can give him a 241-year deal over 5 years. So the question is whether or not over 4 years, 178, whether if the Lakers decide to move on from LeBron, which feels like they probably will, would a $45 million a year deal to Austin Reaves, would he take that instead of the 48 and an extra year he can get from the LA Lakers? So the big risk is, even while I'm going to present the case here of why I think the Jazz should do this, you kind of got to know whether you can get it done. And maybe Austin Reaves would rather stay in LA, but maybe Austin Reaves doesn't want to be second fiddle to Luka Doncic for the rest of his career. All right, so let's walk through this. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey here. Hope that's all right. Rather than outlining, the last thing I'm going to do is outline my Austin Reaves case. The first thing I'm going to do is give you kind of where the Jazz choices are. Then we're going to look at the free agent market as it exists. And then we're going to get into why I think Austin Reaves would be that good a pickup. And then you have to decide, the last piece of this is Lauri Markkanen at $40 million, Austin Reaves at $45 million. Those are your two best players. Is that enough to get it done? My hair is obviously, for those of you on YouTube, driving me crazy. We'll just deal with it. All right. The Jazz have an $18.4 million trade exception in part of the John Collins trade through Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love's contracts. What that means is the Jazz can absorb a player's salary of up to $18.4 million without sending out any of their own money. Now, that gets super interesting if some team out here wants to trade us somebody right now, either to fix their books because it's a restricted free agent they're not going to be able to sign, something of that sort for 18.4 that falls into the 18.4 million. The Jazz can actually aggregate multiple players under that 18.4. The problem is, right now the Jazz are projected, if the salary cap holds at about 144 million, to have somewhere around $40 to $50 million of max cap space. This is why they didn't sign Walker Kessler. So they would have enough to offer someone in my case, Austin Reaves, a max contract. But if you go fill in that $18.4 million trade exception prior to the offseason and do it before this deadline, you dig into that 40 or 50 million. If you signed Walker Kessler, you had dug into that. The order that you are going to do things here is you are going to try to sign a free agent or multiple free agents and then sign Walker Kessler. And then we're ready to go. We need to get in better draft position for this season, but then we're ready to go. Then hopefully this will be our last lottery season. That's the hope. And actually, as much as yesterday was daunting in trying to get to the top, the rest of it's lining up that's pretty good. There's a lot of teams that are got to recycle this thing. So that's the plan. So I would present that we don't want to use our trade exception now because we don't want to dig into our $40 or $50 million cap space. That if we're going to move somebody now, we're moving somebody for another expiring contract, draft something where we move a veteran that they are able to do something with in a team that needs them for a playoff run. We get a second-round pick. We don't bring in any salary, and we don't hurt our cap space. Boring, but keep the powder dry. We have that trade exception for 1 year up to the day of which it was used. So, and there's some questions here. This gets super complicated of what type of team we're acting as. So you're either like an undercapped team or this team or that team. I don't want to get into all that. It's a little too it's a little really complicated. For those of you in the All Access Club, I can get into it. That's probably what you guys want. That's the gist of it. The simple way to look at it is we have this trade exception for 18.4, and any move we make between now and the trade deadline limits our ability to spend our 40 or 50 million. So I would say keep the powder dry. When you get to free agency, here are the free agents. LeBron. It'd be fun, frankly. Trae Young, player option, probably going to have to exercise it. Zach LaVine, player option, probably going to have to exercise it. James Harden, 36-year-old, player option, going to have to exercise it. Unrestricted free agent, CJ McCollum at 34 years old. Not super interested. Chris Middleton, 34 years old. Kristaps Porzingis, who's out with his health problem again, 30 years old. Isaiah Hartenstein's a club option. I'm assuming Oklahoma City will pick it up. Andrew Wiggins, 31 years old, is a player option. I'm assuming he'll pick it up. Tobias Harris, 33. John Collins, 28. Anthony Simons, 27. Maybe six man for limited money. If we don't get big and you're trying to piece this thing together, get some depth, maybe. Fred VanVleet, player option. Terry Rozier, I'll just stay away from that. Jonathan Kuminga, club option. Norman Powell, unrestricted free agent. I'm a huge Norman Powell fan, but he's 33. Harrison Barnes, 33, unrestricted free agent. Nikola Vucevic, 35, unrestricted free agent. Nurkic. Rui Hachimura, 28, unrestricted free agent. Kind of interesting. Colin Sexton. Lou Dort's a club option. Kevin Huerter's an unrestricted free agent. Mitchell Robinson's unrestricted free agent. Here's the problem with the centers. You go sign a center in your cap space, then you don't want to re-sign Walker. You don't actually get to do something with Walker's slot. The reason we're going to need to re-sign Walker is because Walker's a transaction that's our own money when we do it, so we can go sign free agents in our cap space and then sign Walker. But if we sign Mitchell Robinson or we sign, there's a few of Mark Williams is there, a bunch of other centers, you sign them, well, then you've used up your cap space, so you don't need to re-sign Walker. So then all you can do is really sign and trade Walker. Restricted is he'll get an offer at that point. You won't match it. Austin Reaves, 28 years old. Kobe White, unrestricted free agent, 26. Interesting. Mo Wagner, 29. Quentin Grimes. Jaden Ivey, restricted free agent. Benedict Mathurin, restricted free agent. Interesting. Osam Jang, Oklahoma City. I know somebody who really likes him, restricted free agent. Tari Eason, restricted free agent. So you run down that list and you're trying to spend $40 to $50 million. To me, there's only one guy on that list I'm willing to spend $40 to $50 million to. And that's Austin Reaves. Now, the next question on that gets interesting. And that is, if we max somebody right now, is it the right time to max them? The way our cap space works. And is Austin Reaves the right one to max? We touch on that when we continue on Locked on Jazz. The Thursday edition of Locked on Jazz is brought to you by our friends over at Woodward. They are working hard at Woodward in a year where we are not getting the snow we'd expect to make sure it is still fun, awesome, electric, amped up, vibing, doing all those things that Woodward does. Woodward Park City is second to none when it's fun for per foot ratio. Just 20 minutes from Salt Lake Valley. Woodward's right over the top of Parley Summit. There's nothing scary about going to Parley's. Woodward offers experiential learning in a radically fun and safe environment. With facilities for all abilities, the door's always open. The first timers, the regulars, you drive by it on 80 and you look to your left and you see the park and the pits and the ramps and the tramps and everything, and you can tell everyone's having a blast. The tubing, everyone's having a blast at Woodward. Mountain Park season passes are now available for just $4.99. Rip hop laps with a posse after school into the evening. Maximize mountain time this winter at one of the best terrain parks in Utah all season long. Go all in with the all-access memberships provided, from passes to perks, discounts, and more. Starting out, just learn to fly with Woodward's tribe and seasonal multi-week programs. It's a great year to actually learn with the snow not falling all the way yet. Just 20 minutes from Salt Lake, Woodward offers experiential learning facilities for all abilities. The all-new Winter Mountain Park Pass, $4.99, ride all season at one of Wasatch's best terrain parks. Get absolutely the best value out of your winter. It's the best place to maximize mountain time. Easy in, easy out. You just pay. Literally, you park and walk on. It's kind of awesome. It's all at Woodward Park City. Winter seasonal programs. Build confidence, develop skills, and have a blast on the mountain with all programs ages 4 to 17. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends over at Robinhood. Sorry, I was looking for something. I still am looking for something. There it is. The window by which we're doing this broadcast had disappeared. I didn't actually know I was still with you. Nobody knows your money goals better than you. Robinhood puts you in control of your money with tools that work as hard as you do, locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again, channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks, ETFs, options, futures, and crypto, all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood's Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com. Your money. Again, that's Robinhood.com/your money. Your money, your move with Robinhood, the new gold standard. Robinhood.com/your money. Thank you for making Locked on Jazz your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked on the #1 sports podcast. Saturday, Jazz Plus, SEG Plus, the Statcast. I'll be doing that with Kevin Pelton. Dean Oliver, the godfather of stats, is going to join us. Sean Fensigue from our staff is going to join us. It's going to be great. Also, welcome to the brand new everydayers out there. So excited to have you aboard. I'm so happy about how this is building up. Welcome to Parker Pratt, who is a new Locked On Everyday Club member, to Leon Deem, another Locked On Everyday member. Welcome to Marshall DeWall. Welcome. And to Adam Curtis. So glad to have you guys aboard with the Everydayer Club. It's available to you for $5 a month. You get ad-free exclusive access to the daily national program, Locked On Sports Today on audio, as well as intro into our exclusive Discord group, which I'm really hoping is going to be a lot of fun. For all access, one-on-one text messages, all my prep notes on the Lakers last night, or some of them you'll get more today. You get 15% off at the merch store, exclusive access to the merch store. You get Leaf Two Leans, extra breakdowns. You got the bonus with episode with Kevin Pelton, or bonus part of the interview with Kevin Pelton. Leaf Two Leans breakdowns it's loaded with stuff. It's all available for you. Go to the best way to do it is go to lockedonjazz.supercast.com. That's lockedonjazz.supercast.com. Be a part of the Everydayer Club. All right. I don't want to get too buried in this, but you have to figure out if your money's going to work. Keyonte George becomes a restricted free agent and gets paid in the 28-29 season. Ace Bailey gets paid in the 29-30 30 season. So Keyonte could get paid. Keontae's up for $19 million, I think, in 20, and he'll get more. So I think he'll end up going, and then he's 28, 29. And then the next way it works, the same way that Walker gets paid next year's restricted free agent. So actually, Keyonte gets paid in 27, 28, the year after Walker. Ace Bailey gets paid in 29, 30. So you're going to have to pay Walker. Then you got to pay Keyonte. And if you have Lauri and Austin Reaves on max, it gets tight. But Lauri expires by the time Ace Bailey gets paid. You would be making a choice that Austin Reaves is on this instead of some of the other young players getting paid. That's the reality. But you'd be eating up a lot of cap space. It gets tight quickly, is I guess what I would say. Depending what Walker gets and depending what Keyonte gets. And you have to decide that you think Walker, Kessler, Keyonte, George, Austin Reaves, and Lauri Markkanen are good enough to start getting you places. But you also have to start timing this out and based on how they get paid and when they get paid. Okay. Here's why I'm Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves is a pick and roll marvel in a league that may be moving away from pick and roll and all this stuff. But the fact of the matter is, when it gets right down to it, the most commonly run play in the NBA is pick and roll. And late in games in the final 5 minutes, the most commonly run play is pick and roll. And you got to have a guy and you got to score. In the last 3 years of players who've run 2,000 pick and rolls, Austin Reaves is the 8th best in the NBA. Here are the guys better: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyrese Halliburton, Jamal Murray, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves. Followed by Trae Young, Steph Curry, and James Harden. That's the group. Let me give you that again. In the last 3 years, those players have run at least 2,000 pick and rolls. He's run the 18th most. He's not on the low end of this. Shai, Tyrese Halliburton, Jamal Murray, Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, followed by Trae Young, Steph Curry, and James Harden. Okay. And he's getting better. In the 21-22 season, he only ran 190 pick and rolls. My belief is you have to run 3,000 to 4,000 pick and rolls in the NBA to be able to figure it out. When you start looking at players, most players are under 1.0. He was never under 1.0. Ever. He just gets it. He's a pick and roll savant. We're watching Keyonte right now kind of figure it out. And if you look at what it takes for almost all these other point guards, Keyonte George, in his first year, Keyonte George ran 579 pick and rolls, was 0.96. Excuse me. In his first year, Keyonte ran 1,700 pick and rolls and was 0.88. In his next year, he ran 1,400 pick and rolls, so he's now 3,000. He was at 0.94. And this year, he's at 0.96. This is how most guys go. We can go pull them all. I can pull every single one of these guys. Jamal Murray, all of them. Just run the Jamal Murray and go back 10 years or whatever it is now for Jamal Murray. And you start to get the year-by-year pick and roll, and you see the same trend on every single one of these guys. But Austin Reaves started his first year with only 190 pick and rolls at 1.08. So the next year, they gave him 1,000 pick and rolls. And he was 1.04, which ranked 19th out of 82 players who'd run 750 pick and rolls. 19. The next year, he ran, instead of running 1,000, he ran 1,900. Okay, so now he's up at 3. Now he's up at 3,000. He stayed at 1.04, and he ranked 22nd. Starts to get better. Last year, he runs another 1,600. He's now right around the 5,000 mark. And he ranked 11th out of 76 players who ran 750 pick and rolls last year. So what's he doing this year? He's crossed over the 5,000. He's had the experience. What's he doing? He's the third best in the NBA. Okay. He has run 587 pick and rolls. He's gone from 1.05 to 1.13. And he's the third best pick and roll player in all of the NBA. The only two guys that are better than him are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jamal Murray. This is the natural progression that a player goes on. And sure enough, that's what he's doing. And he has exploded. We won't see him tonight. He's got a calf strain. But he is the number 3 pick and roll player in the NBA. I mentioned Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, 911 pick and rolls, 0.95. Next year, another 1,600, 0.94. Next year, another 2,000, 0.93. Okay, do the quick math on that. That's 2,000. That's 2,500. He crosses over 5,000, 1.1. Stayed at 1.1. Then he went to 1.5, 1.4, 1.9. And now Jamal Murray is at 1.15. This is how it happens. Keyonte's on this road. But Austin Reaves started 3/4 of the way up the mountain at 1.04 and 1.04. It took Jamal Murray 5 years to get there. Trae Young's like the only other pick and roll player who kind of started there. Trae Young's first year was 0.97. Ran 3,000 pick and rolls his first year. His next year, he went to 1.0. He crossed over 5,000. Then he went to 1.05, 1.05, 1, 1.07, 1.04. That's how this works. And Austin Reaves is a pick and roll genius. And the league, when it gets right down to it, you run pick and roll. You just do. Late in games, you run pick and roll. We're the most common off-ball team in the league. You might be saying to yourself, wait, Will Hardy runs off-ball. Okay, right. Will Hardy does run off-ball. You are correct. And if you actually look at how many off-ball plays we run a night versus how many pick and rolls we run, it's pretty close. In fact, if you really get down to our play types, according to Synergy, our pick and roll ball handler percent of time, our pick and roll handlers, 11% of our actions, and an off-ball screen is 10% of our actions. Now, they lead to spot ups, and they each lead to different things, but it's still pretty close. If you look at Second Spectrum, I bet they're pretty close too. The Second Spectrum counts it a little differently, and I would guess you that the offensive team for us is we run 50 pick and rolls, and we probably run 70 off-ball. And if we had a better pick and roll player like Austin Reaves, we'd run more pick and roll. Austin Reaves is a pick and roll savant. In the 23-24 season, before his 5,000, he ranked 27th. Then he ranked 19th. Then he ran 22nd. Then he ranked 11th, and now he ranks 3rd. I'm maxing that out. I don't know these coming. That money difference is big. The Jazz can offer him 45 a year. The Lakers can offer him 48 a year and an extra year. And one's LA and one's Utah. On the other end, this is your team. This is your James Harden to Houston move. You're never winning the MVP. You're having a hard, not always being an all-star next to Luka Doncic. This is your team. Is it worth the Jazz putting all the eggs in that basket, going into the offseason, not making a move coming up here, not using your trade exception unless you can use it after you've gotten Austin Reaves? Is it worth rolling out $45 million for Austin Reaves, having Lauri, Markkanen, and Austin Reaves both at $45 million, Keyonte then pushing it pretty quickly, and you get tight fast? He's a pick and roll savant. That's my case for it. It's cute for me to do it here. It's harder to get it done there. And the real thing the Jazz have to have if they do follow this is they better have a contingency plan, because getting him to leave LA would not be easy. Points gained is next. Guess who's near the very top of points gained? Austin Reaves. Next on Locked on Jazz. Today's show is brought to you by Gusto. Let's be real. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets. That's where Gusto comes in, to take the stress out of payroll, benefits, and HR so you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Locked On started with Gusto. Gusto is all-in-one remote-friendly payroll HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place without the hassle or the hidden fees. Unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price, which means no surprise charges at the end of the month. Gusto automated tools like offer letters, onboarding materials, and direct deposits save hours every week. And knowing you can reach certified HR experts anytime gives you a real peace of mind. Try Gusto at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. Get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right, 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. One more time, that's gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends over at Rocket Money. Glad to have Rocket Money back and firing up with us. Love to talk about Rocket Money because it has been super fun for me to use. Everyone feels like your money's disappearing or how you're spending it or what can you do better with it or just honestly, it's like peace of mind. I don't know why I always just am worried about it, but I always am. And so this is where Rocket Money has been incredibly helpful and valuable to figure out where you're spending, categorizing my spending, being able to look at it from different aspects to say, okay, if we do this a little better here or that a little better there, then we can do these things. And I'll be honest, one of the things that's been really cool about having Rocket Money is where we're doing things really well. It shows you that as well. Everyone always talks about the other way. It just gives you clarity to track every dollar and stay in control of your finances because managing your money shouldn't feel like a second job. Rocket Money does the heavy lifting for you so you can save money and stress. Rocket Money, find subscriptions you forgot about when you're paying to help you. See where you're spending in one dashboard. Rocket Money automatically builds budgets based on past spending and keeps track of without overthinking. The bill alerts, spending notifications help you catch small things before they turn into big expenses. Having the app, find good times to save each month with your consistent with your financial goals. Take control of your finances. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA today. That's rocketmoney.com/LockedOnNBA. rocketmoney.com/LockedOn. Actually, just locked on. rocketmoney.com/LockedOn. rocketmoney.com/LockedOn. Thanks so much for making Locked On Jazz your first listen. Thank you for making us the #1 sports podcast network. All right, let's do a little points gained. Our leader in the clubhouse in points gained, got to make sure it's completely updated. We'll look at the Jazz players first. For those who are new to points gained, it is our offensive metric. It looks at how many points an individual player gains compared to average players in the NBA with their scoring opportunities a night. So, for example, Lauri Markkanen gets 23 scoring opportunities a night, and he averages 1.1 points better than league average. Let's take Keyonte's growth for a second. Keyonte in his first year had 12 scoring opportunities a night. He was minus 1.1 points. In his second year, he had 16 scoring opportunities. He was still minus 1.1. And now this year, Keyonte has got 19 scoring opportunities, and he's positive 0.8. Pretty great. There's not that many guards. It's hard to do this as a guard. It's easier to be positive as a center. You dunk. But it also shows you the value of dunks. Also, the concept in our thing is if you're really going to win, you can't have negative players. Like championship teams don't have negative players. So that what happens there is you have someone like Shea or Jokic and you got to get the ball out of their hands or Doncic because they're so good. And then when they spin it to somebody else, that player's an above average possession user, then it doesn't hurt them at all. And they that's how you end up winning a championship. The Lakers, by the way, we'll give it to you in a minute. But in regards to negative players, Gabe Vincent and Jake LaRavia are really their only negative players that play a lot. Here are the leaders in the NBA. Nikola Jokic is having one of the most dominant offensive seasons of all time through 25 games. He is a plus 5.7. We've actually never seen it. I have everything back to the 10-11 season. I actually have the 93-94 season for some weird reason. I don't know why. Somebody must have done something I wanted to go look at. The 10-11 season, like Dwight Howard was the best at 2.8. In the 14-15 season, the best in the NBA was Kevin Durant at 4.0. In the 16-17 season, it was Durant at 3.8. In the 18-19 season, it was Giannis at 3.6. In the 22-23 season, it was Jokic at 4.3. So for Jokic to be sitting here at 5.7 is flabbergasting. It's a crazy number. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is at 4.9, which is kind of equally crazy. Giannis is next at 3.7. Walker was 3.7. And Austin Reaves is fourth at 3.4. And Steph Curry is fifth at 3.3. Jalen Duren is part of the reason Detroit's winning. Next at 2.8. DeAndre Ayton, 2.7. Won't play tonight. Aaron Gordon, 2.7. Ryan Kalkbrenner is 2.5. Anthony Edwards, 2.5. Chet Holmgren, 2.4. Mark Williams, 2.2. Cam Spencer in Memphis, shooting lights out at 2.2. Donovan Mitchell, 2.2. Norman Powell, 2.2. AJ Green shooting lights out, 50% from three, 2.2. Rudy Gobert at 2.1. Jamal Murray, 2.1. Sam Merrill at 2.0. Point guards better than Keyonte George. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at a stupid 4.9. Austin Reaves at 3.4. Donovan Mitchell, 2.2. Jamal Murray at 2.0. James Harden at 1.7. Tyler Hero in limited games, I think 6, 1.7. Denny Avila, 1.6. Luka Doncic, 1.5. Con Knipple, incredible at 1.2, but he's not a point guard, but still incredible for a rookie. I mean, really incredible. Their next guard, Tyrese Maxey, 1.0. Point guard is really what I'm looking at, scanning past some others. And then De'Aaron Fox at 0.9 in his opening 18 games, which is unusual for him. And we'll see if it lasts. And then you get to Keyonte George at 0.8. Gives you an idea where Keyonte George is in the NBA right now. I think the bottom offensive players in the NBA this year who are the most detrimental to their team, Ja Morant, minus 4.1. Brandon Miller's only played 10 games, but minus 3.6. LaMelo Ball, minus 2.9. Darius Garland, minus 2.8. Caleb Love in Portland, minus 2.7. Trey Mann, minus 2.5 in Charlotte. Lonzo Ball, minus 2.2 in Cleveland. Keegan Murray, minus 2.2 in Sacramento's only played 11 games. Vince Williams, Memphis, minus 2.1. Therese Walker, minus 2.2. Joel Embiid's only played 11 games and minus 2.0. Dennis Schroeder in Sacramento, minus 2.0. These are all the teams that aren't playing well. There's like a tie in here. Brandon Williams, minus 2.0. A negative player in points gained is so incredibly detrimental to your ability to win. Aaron Nesmith at minus 2.9. Hasn't played a lot. And Jared McCain, minus 1.8, which in his second year is not stunning. Ben Shepherd, minus 1.7 in Indiana. Derek White, minus 1.7, suddenly with a larger role. In Boston, D'Angelo Russell, minus 1.6 in Dallas, maybe why he's been benched. VJ Edgecombe, minus 1.6, which is not stunning. And I think it's worth checking Cooper Flagg and seeing where Cooper Flagg is. Cooper Flagg is a minus 0.8. So he's right where Keyonte was his rookie year. Not surprising. That is Locked on Jazz today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the program. Everydayer program. All access. I'm super fired up about this. Access to our Discord channel. Locked on Sports Today exclusive. Part of our gets you. Then for all access, you get 15% off the merch store. You get bonus content, extra all access content from Leaf to Lean on draft breakdowns, communication about the draft, extra episodes as well. You get one-on-one text communication with me as well, and extra insight on things of that nature, which include my prep sheets, my prep notes, the breakdowns of the Lakers, in-game reactions, empty the noggin, daily newsletter into your inbox. That's for $15 a month. You can get it for 2 months off at $150 a year. You can also get just the Everydayer program for $5 a month, where you get ad-free Locked on Sports Today and the Discord channel. You get all those with all access, plus the daily newsletter, plus the bonus content, plus the Empty the Noggin after games, plus the interaction throughout games and throughout the day and news and reaction and all that kind of stuff through the texting lines, all available for you. So go to lockedonjazz.com/supercast. That's lockedonjazz.com/supercast to sign up. Love to have you aboard. Really want to build this community and make it a great place, a friendly, fun place for Jazz. I want the Discord channel to be what NBA Twitter used to be for us. We're super fired up about building this at Locked On and glad to have you aboard. Please join us if you can. Love to have you. It is Locked On Jazz. Thanks very much for tuning in. We now send you the first ever 24/7. Wait. Whoa. One other note. If you're still listening, bring your headphones to the game. We have a way for you to listen. I'll just tweet it out. Never mind. But if you're coming to the game, bring your noise-canceling headphones. It's a super cool experience. You can listen in. Yeah, that's right. Okay. It is Locked On Jazz. Have a great day. Thank you very much for tuning in. Well, now, so many things to promote. The StatCast on Saturday with Kevin Pelton. Also, SEG Plus Jazz Plus. So many cool things. All right. That is now we send you the first ever national 24/7 YouTube channel in Locked On NBA on YouTube. Check out Game Night. Every game, every night on Locked On NBA Audio Game Night.